Well, you know what? You don't scare me. So fuck you. Go home.
Welcome to the Horror Movie Showdown, episode 63. The redneck horror genre had its glory days in the 70s, with movies such as Deliverance, The Hills Have Eyes, and of course the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But then in 2003, Wrong Turn came out of nowhere and became a bit of a cult classic, refueling the genre. And it was quickly followed by movies such as Wolf Creek, Severance, Eden Lake, and a whole bunch of remakes. Today we'll be taking a look at both the original Wrong Turn
You couldn't watch me, son?
and its remake from 2021. In these woke days, I'm always a bit hesitant to watch new movies, as they often drown in politics.
Here we go.
Okay, so, what do you think of that?
Oh,
And that is exactly how the remake starts. A man is out looking for his disappeared daughter, whose interracial relationship gets a racist reaction by the local sheriff.
Who's the black fella?
Then we jump 6 weeks back in time to follow the daughter's road trip, and we see her friends taking pictures of their feed for Instagram to show us how stupid and superficial the so-me culture is. Furthermore, when the car gets a flat tire, it's a girl who changes the tire, as conventional gender roles no longer apply.
Making me look bad.
sorry. Don't be fucking girl power.
And of course the movie also has a gay couple. I don't mind any of these scenes by themselves, but when they pile up like this, it feels very forced, as if the movie just has to check off some boxes to comply with current progressive movements. Luckily, the locals react to the woke group's condescending behavior.
Goddamn hipster freaks are the problem with this whole world. So you better sit the fuck still and behave yourself.
And just when you think they're put in their place, the self-aware hipsters humiliate the local guy with intellectual bashing.
My boyfriend Darius runs a sustainable energy nonprofit. Mila's an oncologist, Adam's an app developer, and Gary and Luis own a pair of New York bistros.
And what about you, sweetheart?
I have 2 masters.
The movie is really off to a bad start, but let's see if it gets any better, and if this is just a setup for all of them getting killed. On the group's hike, they wander off the trails despite multiple warnings.
Piece of advice. Keep to the marked trail. The land here can be unforgiving.
And when it starts raining, they get lost. What a surprise!
No one's gonna admit it. So I will. We're lost!
And somehow they end up camping on a graveyard without noticing. Right? Overnight one of the girls disappear, and the same goes for all of their phones. How convenient.
Where's our fucking phones?
Okay, all our phones are gone. What the fuck is going on?
Is it even possible to snatch everyone's phones without waking them up? Apparently so. Then there's some convoluted plot about slave traders and the founding fathers that is not really all that interesting.
It's the Declaration pledged in the foundation of America. I mean the Confederacy. Long live slavery.
The next day it's back to finding their way home, and one of the guys steps on a very small trap that catches his foot. How did the mountain people predict that he would step right there? Well, I have no idea, but he gets sucked down into a hole. From here on, the group has several encounters with the ghost from Robin of Sherwood, as well as cake painting Peter from the Hunger Games. During one of these encounters, one of the guys ends up killing a somewhat innocent mountain man. And from here on, the plot twists and turns with occasional flashes to the father coming to the rescue. It feels like the only reason why they decided to call this movie Wrong Turn was to cash in on the name, as the remake barely has anything to do with the original. But they do throw a few nods to the original though.
Oh, and remember it's pizza movie night, so don't be late. Boys picked something with inbred cannibals.
Let's get to the scores. The movie has 19 kills, of which only a few were decent. It has 0 nudity, it wasn't scary at all, and overall it was horrible and pretentious. It was so hard to endure all this wokeness.
You know why I work in nonprofit instead of on Wall Street? Because I want to build a community where
People are valued on their skills and their character, not their bank account or...
And on top of this, the movie was boring and wasn't well cut or anything despite its decent budget. The movie's only redeeming factor was its likable lead character, who carried it up to a score of 2. And if you look at IMDb, I'm not the only one disliking this movie. Let's take a look at the original Wrong Turn instead, to see if it fares any better. I haven't watched it for more than 15 years, so I'm super excited to see if it has stood the test of time. I really hope so, because watching the remake was almost painful. But the movie's Metacritic scores don't look too promising. Oh my! The intro already has more energy and drama than the whole remake. And listen to that dramatic music. We're off to a great start. We meet 2 rock climbers in the middle of nowhere.
You know we're 50 miles from anybody. Who are you screaming for?
And they just seem like normal people. And then one gets killed, while the other's life is hanging in a thin thread with some creepy and scary people right above her. This is truly terrifying. Imagine being put in a situation like that. See, you don't need woke political statements to make a scary and effective scene. And who cares about the sexuality of the characters? All that the audience needs to know is that there is something scary in the woods. In the opening credits, it's further suggested that people have gone missing and that there are some violent inbreds living in the mountains. We follow a young guy who's late for an interview and now he's stuck at a large accident. In the hopes of getting there in time, he decides on taking a shortcut, and that is something you should never do in horror movies. And during his shortcut, he actually makes a wrong turn, thus the movie title actually makes sense. After a bit of unattentive driving, he runs into a car in the middle of the road, and this is also where he meets the rest of the main characters.
I'm so sorry. Yeah,
It turns out that their car broke down due to flat tires.
I can't believe someone just dropped it there.
Nobody dropped anything. I just found this tied to a tree back there. Somebody did this.
Now this is how you introduce a strong female character. She does something smart, and you don't need the whole woke context and name-dropping fancy educations to show that she's cool. Show it, don't tell it. In classic horror movie style, the first 2 to go are the 2 stoners.
Your mom's gonna kick your ass.
They die when the others are wandering down the road to find somewhere to make a phone call. Unlike the remake, people's decisions actually make sense here. I would also leave some of my friends behind to keep our belongings safe. The surviving characters also do end up finding an old worn down house. Again, our strong girl is skeptical and careful. She's the voice of reason, just like Ripley was it in Alien.
Hey, what are you doing?
I was gonna see if they had a phone. I mean, you guys can wait out here if you want.
You can't just go barging into someone's house like that.
But they decide to trespass anyways and look for a phone inside. I wonder if this is the part that inspired the remake.
Baby, what if this place belongs to some kind of cult? Actually, I read in Newsweek how economically depressed places are like breeding grounds for all kinds of apocalyptic visionaries.
Sorry, I spoiled the remake twist with the cult, but you wouldn't want to watch it anyways. This whole house is super creepy and they find tons of different sunglasses and car keys. Again, it is suggested that there is something off, and we don't need some cult leader to spell it all out. Soon the creepy inbreds return, and now everyone hides within the house. This is also when our friends find out that they're in trouble. It turns out that these inbreds are cannibals. This scene is just so damn tense. After the inbreds fall asleep, our group needs to escape the house. Again, a very tense scene, unlike anything in the remake. Shit! They woke up! Run for your lives! Next, our friends arrive at yet another amazing set that says more than 1,000 words. No one needs to say that these inbreds capture people on wildlife vacations, as the setting says it all. I think that Wrong Turn is a prime example of how to make a simple and effective horror movie.
We gotta find out where we are.
The highest ridge is up there. Come on.
Again, Jessie is quick on her toes to come up with their next move. There's no time for crappy talk about grandiose ideals. Instead, they must continue moving forward to survive. After dark, our friends choose to make a shelter in a watchtower for the night. I'm not sure if this is a good idea or not, But it is definitely not a good idea to make the shelter into a light tower using all these lights. But stupid mistakes do happen, and soon the inbreds are back on their tail. And now it's time to flee through the treetops. The movie gives you very little time to get your pulse down. And now it's a game of cat and mouse through the trees, which I don't think I've seen in any other movie except maybe for Tarzan. It puts a big wide smile on my face. The movie even takes its time to acknowledge the dead, which all too few horror movies do.
Sorry about your friends.
Let's get to the scores and see if I will shoot down the movie like the critics, or if I will continue my positive rant. The movie has 11 kills, which are all pretty damn good. The movie is also super tense and gets a scariness score of 6. Though the movie has substituted nudity for gore, it still gets a nudity score of 2 for all the tight outfits.
Run me a very hot bath and be prepared to provide me with a lot of orgasms.
The original Wrong Turn completely destroys the remake with its overall score of 7, and it takes the 7th place on the board, right under the underappreciated Touristas. If you haven't already watched Wrong Turn, then get going, it's a genre classic. I wanted to finish off the video with a list of similarities between the two movies, but there are so few that it wouldn't make sense. So instead I'll finish off the video by saying, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.